everyone, welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I am Bonnie Krebs, creator of Watercolor the Art Impressions Way, and this week I'm going to walk you through this palm tree set. So there are a lot of pieces in here and they will give you a ton of options so that you can create almost every palm tree variety that's out there. You're going to love this set. So I'm going to kind of walk you through it and show you how each of these little palm branches work, and you can go from there. Okay, so we're just going to use this one set. So let's go ahead and start inking that one of those tree trunks. So I'm going to ink it in two colors. So the dark brown and the dark blue. And I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it too dark. So I'm just going to stamp the majority of that ink off and then place it onto my watercolor paper. Okay, and then let's take the top off of this and just add a little more of this brown to it and just create a smaller one. So you have this option too, so that you can do a smaller tree trunk or a smaller palm tree and a taller one. Plus, you know, these are rubber, so they're going to bend. So you can place it on your block and bend it. You know how palm trees kind of bend like this. So you can change the look of it as well. So you could place one here that's bent off to the side. So keep that in mind also. So let's start out with the first batch. So they come in sets. So this one and this one come together, and you can see that they kind of arch out. So let's stamp them like that. So I'm just going to ink them up in a really nice green and just start putting these in here like that. And I just kind of go right and left. So I'll do a few one way and then I'll do a few the other. And you can do it however. And just, you know, stamp them in here a bunch of times. And let's do this little one too. Okay, so now it comes to adding the water to those. So I'm using my #1 brush. And I'm just going to kind of pull this color out, sort of like we do the grass. We're just kind of dragging that color out away from the spine of the palm branch. So kind of want to leave some of that that white color that's right next to that spine. It's going to give a little more dimension to do that too. And then just dip your brush. Don't get too much water on here because these things are so small. And, you know, don't be afraid to go out past the lines. That's okay. And let's actually just keep going down here. So just pull this color out of the lines. You can do that with your tiny brush too. And you can see it looks a little washed out, which is kind of what we're going for. You know, these trees have been out in the sun and they're bleached and they're just kind of faded out. So same with this little guy. Little shorter one. So you have lots of options this way. And just take your time. So fun. Okay, that looks good. So let's just put it in a simple little setting here. Let's just add a little sand. A nice brown will do that. So this is number 947. This is a really nice color. This will create a really nice sandy area. So just dip your brush in water and just kind of bring that sand down. So just like this, create a little sandy beach. And you can do these, you can make these very simple. Just the idea of a little tropical beach. Okay, so we've got the sand in, so let's put a little water in, and to do that, we need to use a bright blue. So this is number 528, and I'm going to add a little green to it because it's a little bright for tropical water, but if we add some green to it, we'll get a way, way better color. So I'm just gonna brush this in now. So these trees, you know, with the larger trunks, they're meant to be in the foreground. So you can put smaller things behind them or the smaller trunks. So in that set, there's also a smaller one that could go into the background. And let's add a little more blue to here and a little of this darker blue. And we can just put in something in the background here since we're at it. Something that looks more like a tropical island. Some blue hills in the background. And then, you know, with the palm trees, you got to put a shadow in. And don't let that intimidate you, but it's just, you know, a tropical beach is going to be very sunny. And that's part of why we love the tropical beaches, is because they're sunny. So you're going to have to put in a shadow, but I will show you how to do that. It's not hard. So let's put in a bright sky. Tropical blue sky. And again, the idea of it, so it doesn't have to take up your whole page. Okay, so we've got a simple little scene here. I mean, obviously you can do as much with this as you want to, but here's a simple little idea. And now to put that shadow in. So you're going to use that dark blue. So this is the dark blue that we started with, so the number 565. And you can do a simple little shadow just with this color. And pretty much you're just mimicking what's up on top. You're just kind of mirroring. Mirroring is a good word. And, you know, don't stress out about this too much, because you're just going to look at it and say, oh, there's a shadow. You know, so it's not like you have to worry too much about that. And no one's going to look at it and say, oh, that shadow looks wrong to me. They're just going to see that it's there. Okay? Let's add just a little bit more to this tree, just to give it a little more color. So I'm just mixing more of that brown with the blue. And there we go. You have your first tropical scene. Wasn't that easy? Okay, let's go on to the next tree. So that's one way. So let's do another one here. And these are the little ones. So these are in the background. So this would be a little different. So we're inking these with two colors. And the dark brown on the trunks and the blue. So two colors again on these. So these are going to be, let's just hop on that and do one more. So now with these, you're just going to dip your brush and just soften the lines. They're at a distance, and so we're not going to see the detail like we would if they were up close in the foreground. You know, and adding water to these is going to change the shape so that you can't tell they're stamped. Love that about it. And really, you don't have to do too much with the trunk. I mean, just go over it really carefully so that you don't make it too dark like that. And with these, let's just put some sand in the background here, just like we did before. A little sandy beach here. And now with this, that water is going to be in the front. So it would make more sense to have it in the front of it because it is farther back in the background. So something more along these lines. And we can still put the little hills back here. It's just a really simple, easy background to do if you're not quite sure what to do with the white space in the background. Just do something simple like this. It's gonna always be a win. And let's just do a little bit of a definition here. And again, guess what we have to do with the trees? We got to put shadow in. But again, super easy. And you know, the more that you do these little shadows, like the easier they get. And let's put something bright in the background, so that beautiful tropical sky. And you get the idea of how this works. So there's another simple little option. Okay, so let's go on. So let's go on to the other trees. So let's go back to that. Let's go back to that large tree trunk again. And let's ink it in 2 colors. So the blue and the brown, and then let's stamp it off. And let's just do 2. Let's take the bottom off of here, and let's just do 2 next to each other. And just pull that color out. It just, you know, don't stress out over this. This is so easy. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So we worked our way through the small palm trees. Let's go on to this one. And that is these larger ones. So this one to the left and this one to the right. So those 2. So we worked through this one. We worked through this one. Okay, so now let's ink these. So we've got one tree that's closer to the front. So let's do that one with a darker color. So that was the left. And you know, remember, you can use just tips of them. You can drop these branches way down. Like so. So I'm going to take my number 1 brush again and just do the same thing. And just pull that color out. And you can see I'm kind of leaving that little white line in the middle. You don't have to leave all of it, but you know, just a little bit kind of creates more dimension, I think. And if you like more detail, just use less water. Okay, so now with these, we can do something in the background too. So let's do a little scene here as well. So these are more in the foreground. So we can drop our sand maybe down to the shoreline here. This one's a little farther in the distance. And then our water. Maybe our water could come out this way. And then let's go ahead and put our sky into the background. And you know, if you don't come all the way down to the shoreline with your sky, you kind of create a little cloud line back there, which is kind of cool. And we can just bring this clear over to the water. Okay, so we could now add some of these palms into the background maybe. So let's use a little lighter color and let's just clean that off. And just use a few of these. Back in here, and then these little guys. So these little ones, these are meant to be in the background. So you could just fill up the whole background with tropicals. And I'm using my large brush here, but you could use the one too. And then we're going to need a little shadow under here. And you can, you can extend that shadow. And let's just put a little more color into this tree. And let's just put something bright in here, just 'cause. So let's just take something tropical. So this is the little flower from the little the flower set. And we can just put something bright in here. I just feel like we need to brighten up that scene. I mean, if we're doing a tropical scene, we got to have some bright colors in here, right? So you can see that changes the scene altogether. Okay, so let's go on to the last one, and that is the very small little tree, and it has a smaller little tree trunk, and these little guys can go either way. So let me show you what I mean by that. So let's just ink this in 2 colors. And then let's stamp it off. And let's just do 2 of these as well. And this is more of a mid-distance, so not in the far background like the little trees and not in the foreground. So let's add these to it. They're just thinner palm branches. Like so. And you can also go up. Oops, this way. This way. There we go. That makes sense. And then just add your water. Let's use the tiny brush for sure on this. So this is the number 1. For sure, you want to use this brush on here. Make sure you pinch it off so you don't get too much water. palm branch down here going the opposite way, but oh well. Okay, so you can see how easy this is. And, you know, don't stress out about the background. You know, the funnest thing to make are the trees. So just put a little sandy beach in and, you know, a little ocean behind it. And a little bright sky in the background. And don't forget that shadow. And if you really just want to cheat on the shadow, I just make a line. And let's go just a little bit darker back here. Make sure you're putting the water in, that you're doing a straight line. That's really, really important. Okay, and there we go. I hope that was helpful to you. Try these palm trees. They're really, really fun to do. And let me know if you think of more options for them. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you all next week.